to Mike and the Hammer. After a long break, we're finally back with some more bad bets. College basketball NCAA tournament is upon us, and we have arrived to the Sweet 16. With that being said, there was a lot of games to bet on and a lot of games to win money. Unfortunately, we're not able to give you our locks last week, so you couldn't really catch in your pockets as well as you probably could have. Sorry about that. But we're back now. We're going to go over some of our bets from over the weeks, from the past week, some good ones, some bad ones, and we're going to preview a little NBA games tonight and preview a couple of the college basketball games coming up for this Thursday and Friday. So to start off, yesterday, going into the day, I was down big. Oh, not really big. I was down like $65 going into the Virginia Tech and the Texas Tech game. I think they started around 5:30, 6 o'clock yesterday. So I didn't feel like betting the games from the start. So I decided to live bet a couple games. So off the bat, I got Texas Tech at -3.5 on a live bet. Threw 50 on it. It hit. Good start to the day. Then I had, what was the other game? Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech, I think.
Yeah, I live bet them -4.5. Threw 40 on that. That hit. So that was a good start to my day. And then in order for me to pull even and go up on the week, I needed the over in the Oregon and UC Irvine game. I had it at 126 and going down to the wire. It was close. UC Irvine bangs a 3 in the last minute. I cover the over 126. Overall solid day for me yesterday. Mike, how was your day? I don't know if it was as good as mine, but
Definitely not the same. Completely the opposite. Lost a couple hours last night. Down 30 going into yesterday. Threw a couple parlays, but what really hurt was, let me see the history. What hurt? What game did I have? Oh, who did I throw in? The Lakers. Oh, that hurt. The Kings game. I had at least $70 on the Kings over the Lakers. Kind of a game to keep the Kings in the playoff race. Meanwhile, they would most likely have to win like most of their games and win out. But, I mean, they still had a chance. Lakers spoiled that. Kuzma just went off in the third, had over 20 in the third. Kind of ruined that night for me. I'm down 136 last week. But rough week for me, honestly. It was very up and down, and then it just went right down at the end. But what are you going to do?
yeah, it was a pretty up and down week for me too yesterday. This week I was down a lot at the beginning, then I was up a lot in the middle of the week, then it went down a lot again, and I had to win it all back yesterday. I ended up netting like on the day yesterday 110, but I was down so much I only gained like $50. Only 50, I mean.
Yeah,
But another game, part of the round of 32 games that screwed me was I had LSU -3 against
they win by one
against Maryland. They were up by 1 million.
They won by 1 or 2?
They won by 2. I missed it by a point. They were up by 1 million in the first and second, in the beginning of the second half. It was like I thought I was going to be comfortably sitting. I had 50 on that. I was like, I'm chilling on this. That is definitely going to hit -3. All of a sudden, Maryland comes coming back, and LSU looks like they forgot how to play basketball. And I'm freaking out, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then it's tied at the end. Oh, they don't. LSU goes up 3. So I'm like, all right, I'll take a push. It was like 20 seconds left. LSU's up 3. I figured they get a stop, a rebound. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a stop, a rebound. You foul. You make the free throws. Maybe I even cover. This 7-foot guy from LSU, Jalen Smith. He's a freshman. He's this big, tall guy. He wears rec specs. I'm pretty sure it's the first corner 3 he's ever hit in his life to tie the game. And then they went on a game-winning layup. I was fuming.
At that point, you rather go to OT.
Exactly. I was rooting.
Lose the game,
I was rooting for OT because I didn't want to win by 2 and not cover. Like I had LSU in my bracket, but I could care less about my bracket. I threw $10 on my bracket. I threw 50 on them -3. I thought -3 was a lock for them too. I thought Vegas gave them a sick line. Scummed me. But going forward, to look at some of the lines for the upcoming games in the tournament. I don't know if you got your stuff up, Mike. You can check maybe, but I don't have them up. But the matchups we got
for upcoming college.
Yeah, for the Sweet 16 games.
I just had them up. Give me a sec.
I'll just read off the matchups. Duke, Virginia Tech. That'll be at.
I just want. I literally Duke's gonna win. I really want to throw just 360 and win 100 on Duke money line.
Yeah.
I just don't see them not going to the finals.
I don't know. They looked bad yesterday against UCF. They should have lost that game.
I know they did. Should have lost that game. Should have lost the UNC game. They came clutch with that too. I don't know. They just find a way to win.
I know they do. It's like the last second. They always find a way to win. I mean, that's what happens when you have 3 potential superstars on your roster.
That's what happens when your best player is scoring 30 and missing 2 shots a game.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you have RJ Barrett, who really, I think, is the best player on that team, the most pure player, I guess you could say, skill-wise. And then we know our room isn't really the biggest fan of Cam Reddish, but he's still superior to a lot of players in the NCAA.
Very true.
But yeah, going over the matchups, Duke, Virginia Tech at 9:40 on Friday night. Michigan State, LSU at 7 o'clock on Friday night. And then you got Gonzaga, Florida State, 7 o'clock on Thursday night.
I kind of like Houston upsetting Kentucky.
You do?
Yeah.
That game's on Friday at 10 o'clock. That's a late game.
Yeah, it's a late game. I like Houston, honestly, in that game.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't trust Houston. I feel like I don't trust any of the teams that play in a small conference like that. They don't play anybody throughout the year.
I like teams that play defense, especially
Yeah, that's why I love Texas Tech against Michigan. I think they're +2. I love Texas Tech against Michigan. I might even take them.
You like them?
I might even take their money line. I really like them this year, actually. They're the second best defensive team in the tournament.
Why do I like +7 Florida State over Gonzaga?
So do I. I love Florida. I got Florida State, Texas Tech in my Elite 8 in my bracket. So I think I'm going to ride both of them.
I really just
until I can't.
What do you get? You throw 50 on them.
Probably 45.
No, 50 to win.
On their money line or their spread? Oh, their money line. I thought you meant their spread.
Like there has to be an upset, right?
There's got to be. I think the only upset I could see happening of a lower seed, well, like a significantly lower seed, like the 2-3 matchups. Those aren't really upsets in my eyes, to be honest, because like there's a reason why you're a 3 seed. There's a reason why you're a 2 seed. Like there's not that much of a difference between a 3 and a 2 in my eyes, but there's a big difference between a 1 and a 4. And there's also a big difference between a 1 and a 12 in Oregon. Oregon's a wagon.
You throw 60 on Florida State, you win 160.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
It's like I just wish I was up big. You know what I mean?
Tell Shawnee to throw that.
I know.
Shout out our roommate Sean Nolan, up $650 this week on sports betting. He's a real one.
Lucky.
Then he's up another $1,000 at the casino. So
he's a jinx, that kid. I don't know. He's hot right now.
You like Oregon against Virginia?
No.
What's their line?
No, Oregon over
Virginia.
Oh, they are playing Virginia?
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed up with Virginia and
Virginia Tech?
No, not Virginia Tech. And who's Florida State playing?
Gonzaga?
Gonzaga. I'm getting mixed up with them too.
What's the line on the Oregon-Virginia game?
+3 some?
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the spread?
+320. Spread's +8.
+8 is that spread?
Yeah.
Oregon is one of the other really good defensive teams in the country too that are left in the tournament. Best teams you got in the tournament defensively are.
What about Purdue and Tennessee? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think the game's going to be such a good game. It's going to be a toss-up. I have Tennessee in my bracket, so I'm going to keep sticking with Tennessee, but I could see Purdue winning that game handily, actually. Because Tennessee, like they always get both their games they played this in the tournament, they come at such a hot start. They get up by so much, and then all of a sudden you blink your eyes, and then like late in the second half, and it's like a 5-point game. Like you saw with Iowa, they were up 25. They went to overtime. They won game by 6. They were up by double digits against Colgate. They ended up winning by 7, and they needed a couple buckets at the end to push the game away. I don't know. They're just scaring me. Meanwhile, Purdue has handily won both their games. They beat Villanova by 25, which is a big win. Carson Edwards has 42. I don't know. I feel like those seeds in the tournament have been so chalky. Like it's just all 1, 2, and 3, and 4 seeds on the left side of the bracket, and then on the right side, everything's chalky except for Oregon.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a predictable year for the brackets. Not gonna lie.
TCU a lock. That's all I know.
Yeah, we were the NIT.
NIT.
Mike was a little confused on who and who was not in the tournament, so he decided to throw a bet on TCU. It hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hit.
What was that bet hit?
What did it 20 to win 33. It was like I think it was Oregon Oregon. I forgot who it was. It was like 2 locks, and then
Oregon,
TCU.
Houston, maybe.
No, Oregon. Or
Virginia Tech?
definitely Oregon, and then
Virginia
I
Tech.
forgot Virginia Tech.
'Cause we know
Virginia Tech.
We were
yes,
watching
Virginia
that game.
Tech,
We
yep.
were,
Yep, you're right. Virginia Tech. That game was kind of up in the air, but the TCU and Oregon game were locks. Like I was never worried about that. But I'm so mad with the Kings. It could have been even on the week.
yeah, it sucks.
You know, it's like
We were just talking before the show, switching over to NBA a little bit. We were looking at the 76ers Magic game tonight. Sixers are -2 on the road against the Magic, who have won their last 4 games.
it has the definition of what's it called? What is it called?
You're losing your words today.
I know. Definition of
Trap?
trap game.
Mm-hmm.
Definition of trap game. Everyone's healthy on the Sixers.
It seems like it's going to be locked for the Sixers, only -2 against the Magic. Everyone's healthy for both teams. I don't know why my gut's telling me I want to throw $1 million on the Magic, but
I don't know, man. Like, do you think they're gonna complete a 5? They're on a 4-game
4-game win streak. They
win
beat
streak.
they beat the Cavs by 30.
Yeah, but the Cavs.
They beat the Hawks by 10. They beat the Pelicans by 25, and they beat the Grizzlies by 4 in overtime.
Wait, say it again. I was listening.
Cavs by 30, Hawks by 10, Pelicans by 25, and the Grizzlies by 4 in overtime.
That's teams they should beat, though.
And then on the other
Handily. That's
hand,
teams that makes me want to throw in the Sixers.
Sixers
even
have
more.
won 4 of their last 5. Beat the Kings by
Who'd
9.
they lose to?
Milwaukee by 5.
They lost to Milwaukee.
No, they beat Milwaukee by 5. They beat the Hornets by 4. They beat the Celtics by 3. And they just lost to the Hawks by 2. Trae Young hit the game winner.
Oh man, you think they're gonna go? I think they. Oh man, now I really want to throw in the Sixers. I feel like they're not gonna lose to 2 scrub teams in a row.
The Magic are good though.
They are good. Are they?
They've been hot
They're not a
recently.
playoff team. Right?
I don't know.
They might be an 8
You
seed.
never know in the East, honestly,
I
with the
know.
way
I'm gonna look
their
at the
standings.
East
I'm
right
gonna
now.
look too.
Eastern Conference playoff race.
They're 1 game behind Miami for the 8 seed.
How was Miami on the 8 seed? Miami's lost me a lot of money too this year.
They're 1 game behind Miami, and they're 2 games behind Detroit and 2.5 games behind the Nets.
Nothing hurt more than D Wade's game winner over Golden State. That hurts so.
What did
bad.
I got that
You
game
had like 50 on that too.
on
right?
goal. I live bet Golden State, like they were like plus 200 on a live bet for money line. I put like 50 on them, 50 to win like 100, and they had it at the end. And of course, Dwayne Wade has to hit one of the most miraculous shots of all time.
Double clutch, like gets blocked,
Catches it again in the air, throws it up. Of course, it goes in. I knew right as it left his hand after he let it go, I knew it was going in. There was no way he was going to miss that.
I know, right?
There's been so many times like that when we've been watching games and that's happened that like it doesn't even surprise me anymore.
I think I'm gonna throw 139
On the Sixers
yeah,
to win what?
like 105.
100.
Let's see. Oh man,
That's really the only game I like tonight. Honestly, is that game to bet on was.
And I want to throw like I don't want to be like I can't even say it.
I mean, Thunder -6 against the Grizzlies is pretty nice too. Are they fully healthy?
Who?
The Thunder. -6 against the Grizz.
Who?
The Thunder.
Wait, say it again. I was gonna say
Thunder -6 against the Grizzlies.
Thunder -6
On the road against the Grizzlies.
I don't think so. 130 win 104. So yeah,
They're coming off a big win against the Raptors though.
bro. I don't know with the NBA anymore. Like
The Thunder have lost 4 of the last 5 though, but so have the Grizzlies.
what is Ryan saying? He goes, I say me, you, Sean, and Jack all pick one game we love, throw 1,000 each. Whatever hits, we split the winning. Oh, that kind of makes sense.
What?
That's not a bad idea.
Break it down for me. What do you, my text
Alright.
didn't come through yet.
He said throw 1,000 each. Never mind. It's stupid.
What?
Throw 1,000 each.
Like 2 of us throw 1,000 on Philly, 2 of us throw 1,000 on the Sixers.
No, everyone just throw 1,000 each on 4 different games on teams we like. And then we split the winnings.
Hey, what if all of them don't hit?
Then we kill ourselves.
That's like
Like, I don't know. Like, see, like, what do you get? You win 2,300. if you bet 1,000 on like Oregon.
I can't.
No, you win 3,200. You throw 1,000 on Oregon, you win 3,200.
To what? To beat Virginia?
Yeah. I know it's a long shot for 3,200.
Which game do you think has the best shot of being an upset? Because then we just gotta
Florida
throw all of our money on that. Then
Florida State
what's their line? Plus 220, you said?
plus 280, plus 260.
Why don't we do that? Not 1,000 on it, but let's throw like $1 trillion.
For the house mortgage 265. You 2650. You win. You throw 1,000.
I just farted.
Sell the houses, boys. All right. Does that wrap it up?
Yeah, that wraps it up for this week's episode of Mike and the Hammer on WICR. Thank you for all that tuned in. We'll see you next week with some more betting advice, but make sure to have a good week. Well, we didn't have any locks today. Sorry about that. We'll see you next week.